suggested this book in the polling, it was because Bill Gates recommended this book, right? So of course, Bill Gates is one of the famous reviewers on Goodreads, so we kind of follow whatever he said. And this book was one of the recommendations. Right, so before we move on to the actual discussion, I would like to discuss some of the keywords because this book is quite technical. So if you don't understand some of the keywords, sometimes it makes us confused, like what is she talking about? What is he talking about? All right, so the things that will be discussed over and over again in this book are Loonshot, Bush-Bale balance, Moses trap, E-type innovation, and S-type innovation. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You can read on the screen the meaning, the definitions of these keywords. But in short, Moonshot is a type of project that people think is very significant. It's really difficult, but very significant, such as the moon landing project or the cancer cure project that was launched by President Barack Obama, I think 2 or 3 years ago. And then moon landing project was launched by JFK a few decades ago, right? And then the next one is the opposite of moonshot, which is loonshot. Loonshot is the neglected project. Supposed to be a breakthrough or innovation, but somehow people kill this idea or they moonshot, and loonshot comes from the word moon, right? Loonshot is from lunatics, crazy shot, but it's from the word luna, which is also moon. So moonshot and loonshot can also mean the same thing, but the definitions are different in this book. And then Bush-Bale balance is actually a type of situation, the best way to nurture the loonshots. If you have an organization or you have a company, if you lead people, this is the best way to foster good ideas and do not kill them. And Moses trap is what happens if the person of a figure in a certain company decides everything. And in the long run, this is not a great example. For example, Steve Jobs was mentioned here several times, and also in other industries such as Polaroid, for example. We will discuss it later. And then P-type innovation and S-type innovation, 2 types of innovations that can transform industries. P-type innovation focuses on the products, for example, better planes or better computers. This can alter the market of these products, but also S-type innovation. S-type innovation is nothing new on the product, but they have special strategies to transform the market. For example, in better and easier booking system for flights, for example, right? So this is S strategy type and product type innovation. Just to get this out of the way so we understand what we will talk about. All right, so what I really like about this book is because I love the story of a heartbreak. And I think there are so many stories of a heartbreak in this book, right? The most important breakthroughs rarely follow blaring trumpets and red carpet. Central authorities offering pass through long dark criticism and audience often describe. Whenever there's a breakthrough, it's not as lively or it's not as fun as it looks from the outside. So actually, it goes through a lot of pain before they materialize into something great. So the reflection on this is I have questions for all of you. Do you have an experience when your ideas being dismissed by others? So the first reflection from this book, we know that there are so many breakthroughs actually goes through a long tunnel of rejection, neglection, uncertainty. Do you have any experience when your ideas being dismissed by others?
I do have, Kak. I do have, Kak.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes.
So I basically think this is exactly the same book I read for Innovation for the Fatigue, when mostly in a company the best ideas usually killed at the first place. So but I was also thinking, they are killing the idea. Is it because the one who have idea cannot translate that idea into understandable words, or is it just because yeah, because I think people will refuse the idea if they don't see how it will be. They don't see the outcome, the possible outcome, right? So for my side, my perspective is that we have as the one who have the idea, have the homework to really to express the idea so the people can understand. That's the challenge actually there. But when the idea is killed, in the book that I read, Innovation for the Fatigue, let me show you. This one, yeah. In this book, it says it's really about uh, we should build a culture where the ideas is nurtured. So the idea in a company, sometimes the idea is killed not because it's not visual rejection. It's just a small reaction, unconscious reaction of the boss, of the leader, who kill the idea. For example, just ignoring the idea. People are the employer is giving the idea, but the leaders have no follow up. So that's the kind of micro behavior kills the idea. So
Okay. So you blame it on the leader.
yeah. I experienced that a lot, and it makes me really lazy to contribute anymore. Sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. A bit too much information, but okay. But Jerry doesn't like his boss. So thank you, Jerry, for sharing. Any other? Have you experienced your killed by other people? Yes, Lydia?
No, I'm just listening. No. So what Jerry said earlier, I pretty interesting because I saw by myself a fellow colleague. Um, he made and his team made project by the superior, but then they got crushed in the middle of the project. But yes, Jerry, I can feel you, and I've seen the situations go. I've seen how the situations went off. That's it.
Have you experienced it personally?
Never, because
Wow. Your idea always been accepted by other people.
no,
That's
I'm not the first. No. This idea, fresh idea. I always follow the leader of the Trudson team in my workplace. So it's pretty
okay.
embarrassed because I never made any decisions for ideas.
Okay. Well, I would like to encourage you from now on, Lydia. Try to have an opinion about something. Try to come up with ideas because I believe ideas are the currency of the 21st century. So it will propel you to even be more successful if you come up with great ideas and persuade people. Okay, Lydia, a challenge for you 2021.
Yes. Hopefully.
All right. Now, Z, have you ever experienced your great idea being killed by other people?
Yes, I had, but I believe that someday my dreams will become true. So basically, I'm just, okay, boss, if you don't accept my ideas, it's okay. But maybe later I will do it.
You will prove to your boss that your idea works, yeah?
I've already told my boss about that idea, but because there is a hierarchy in the government. So I'm working as a civil servant. There is a hierarchy. Then, if I want to fulfill that dreams, there are lots of boss there who have to agree with that. That's why it's quite hard
Yeah.
to fulfill my dreams like that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, lots
Yeah,
of bureaucracy.
yeah, it's interesting when Z talk about hierarchy, because in this book, in Loonshot, it said that a long hierarchy or so many levels of hierarchy creating politics in the office. So people will not focus on completing their work the best they can. They focus on how do I get a promotion? Who do I have to rayu? Who do I have to impress, right?
Yes, totally
So
agree. Yeah.
yeah, so actually that's not a good, what is it called, a good sign if a certain organization is healthy, if you need to impress people just to be able to be promoted, right? So there's a difference between impressing other people and truly being impressive. So I think we need to foster that healthy environment. All right, so Ratu, can you share your experience, idea being killed?
Almost killed, yeah. This
Yeah, you're
book
the one
club.
killing those ideas. Oh, there
I
you
think
go.
this book club is almost killed by myself.
Okay, share.
Uh, and unfortunately, there are some other of us tiny people that still stick with us until now and wants to come up try other ideas that maybe works. And it's so nice to have that kind of people like Mbak Lydia, Pipit, Z, and Yudi. And yeah, we have to dynamic equilibrium, right? On the book, we have to listen to people's feedback and try to change what it doesn't work. So it doesn't about my idea that matters. My how to say the Moses trap, right? The boss idea that only matters, but also the feedback that makes the idea works, right? So that almost killed this Voicepal book club.
Thank you so much, Ratu, for your reflection. So Ratu mentioned about the Moses trap. He almost fell into the trap. The Moses trap, if I would like to remind you, meaning that when one person, actually, I'm not sure if Ratu was trapped in this Moses trap. Moses trap means the ideas advance only at the pleasure of a holy leader rather than the balance of exchange of ideas in the organization. So only one person gets to say what works and what do not works. And I don't think Ratu actually did that because he what is it called, ask a lot of people for feedback.
Yes,
What do you think?
true.
Right?
Yes,
That's
true, Miss Pipit.
yeah. I think
Because
the
of
only
the
thing that I
condition
can
also.
blame,
Yeah.
the only thing that I can blame is that the timing, because timing is everything in life. So he just got new baby, right? Of course, we cannot expect you to focus on us. You have your own life to run, right? So it's okay, and we can start anew. All right, and then Mr. Agus, can you please share your idea about your experience, your idea being killed? Or Riska first? Riska, have you experienced your idea being killed?
Yes, absolutely.
What is
It's not exactly an idea, but I was opposing to proposal by my leader in the in the organization, and I was explaining and giving arguments and put it in the long run, but everything that I say is rejected, and I feel like the funny thing is that leader who make that decisions already left the organization, that I'm the one who's being being in the impact of that policy or that decision. So the reflection is first, I cannot blame others. I cannot like reflect on myself. I think I haven't put enough logical argument convincing. I feel like I just like the soft skill side, like I don't feel like it's a good idea or something like that. So it doesn't it doesn't work. And the second is related to what Jerry said. Someone said, I forgot, where the decision itself is for the leaders' interest, like the Moses trap as well. Yeah, and that is one of, I mean, it's very tempting, very tempting as a leader to make it into his or her interest, but at the same time, it reflects the system itself. It doesn't have like a check and balance system. So yeah, so I think that's my take for that. Thank you, Mbak.
Thank you, Rizka. Although Rizka has not read the book, we should actually talk about checks and balance, and we will talk about it later as well. That all of the problems has been raised because of bad management, bad organization, basically. So this is the type of system that do not foster loonshots. They actually kill loonshots or great ideas. And even I myself am a debater. I coach debate for more than 10 years. I was a debater for 6 years. With this power, persuasion, and reason, my ideas also get killed. So sometimes it's not our fault if other people cannot accept our ideas. We're even lucky if during our lifetime, people realize that we were right. There are so many people in the past, we owed them human progress, but we didn't give them justice. For example, Copernicus, right? Vincent van Gogh, all of these people were way ahead of their time. Leonardo da Vinci, Leonardo da Vinci was okay. But Vincent van Gogh, for example, he died poor. People did not like his paintings. People thought he was crazy. But then after he died, several decades after that, then his painting becomes one of the most expensive paintings ever sold, right? So sometimes people are way ahead of their time and people are not ready for that. So this could be the reason your ideas are killed. Right, let's move on to the next one. 3 deaths of ideas, right? So my mom-in-law is actually downstairs. She has high cholesterol. Several days ago, I took her to the hospital because of this disease, right? And then the doctor prescribed her lovastatin, actually, a type of drugs that can lower cholesterol. And this type of drugs actually very related to Akira Endo. And this is a heartbreak story. I'm sure if you have read the book, you still remember this story. He was the one discovering about statins that can lower cholesterol and can cure heart diseases, right? But his ideas experienced 3 deaths, and it took him more than 30 years to be recognized or to be credited for this invention. First, that time, the general consensus dismissed his ideas. So when he presented his ideas in a scientific conference, people left the meeting during the middle of his presentation. Or those who stayed just laughing in the corner, like that, just mocking him, basically. Because that time, they did not think that cholesterol had anything to do with heart disease. They totally thought they were separate. So when he was the one stating that, people ridiculed him, not knowing that he was actually right. The second death that happened to him was a problem in the process, right? Experiments to lower the was done on rats, on mice, right? And it was the wrong animal because mice have always had good cholesterol. So there's nothing to be lowered here, right? So there's something wrong with the animals, the animals in the experiment, not something. But then his idea wanted to take over his budget for research. So they spread a rumor saying that his drugs can cause cancer. So what happened to him? He got fired by this company. And he actually almost killed himself. It wasn't for his wife supporting him. And he retired with very low pension. Until 30 years after his discovery, these two people reread his article and tried to experiment on it. And then they succeeded. So basically, these two people were the one credited for the invention of statins. It was supposed to be Akira Endo. So this is like the paragon of heartbreak, in my opinion. So this is the 3 deaths that great ideas must go through. My question to you is, if you were Akira Endo, would you survive these 3 deaths? Go ahead.
I can go ahead.
Yes, go.
Sorry, Kak, just turn off the video. I'm not confident.
No problem.
So I can clearly see here that, like I said before, the problem with the Akira Endo is that, like you said previously, Kak Pipit, either the person is it's more advanced than others, or Akira Endo has problem with explaining the idea. The first scenario is he advanced than others, so he see that this is possible, but others don't see that it's possible. But he has a problem explaining the ideas, so it's not accepted. But later on, the 2 men came and explained the ideas, and then it is then accepted. Is it also can be affected by because of the people at the time already thinking about that, so it is easy accepted. So ideas here, the Akira Endo's ideas here play important part when are those people are ready to hear the idea or not. So environment play vital factor as well. That's it.
Thank you, Jerry. Then related to what Jerry said, I have this quote I got from the book. The best inventors do not necessarily make the best champions. The roles require different skills, not often found in the same person. So yes, you're right, Jerry. Somebody who can invent drugs or statins, just like Akira Endo, probably is not a good public speaker. Probably is not a good marketing person.
Exactly.
So he found it hard to market his ideas.
But
And
most geniuses are sometimes.
yes, actually, Einstein could not explain his ideas too. So that's why these skills are really important and rarely found in the same person. And a lot of people good at public speaking probably do not invent anything, right? I cannot invent anything, for example. So yes, it's true. Yes, great. So any other response? If you were Akira Endo, would you survive these 3 deaths of your ideas? Ratu?
Certainly not.
Certainly not. So you give up?
Totally not.
Certainly
I
not.
would disappear. I would disappear somewhere.
Yeah, right. It's so hard, yeah.
It's so hard.
30 years.
Can you imagine?
But Kak Pipit.
Yes.
Oh, somebody want to speak? Go ahead.
Lydia?
No. Yes, the response of the question is certainly not. if I'm in Akira Kondo position, I would be disappeared from Mother Earth. 30 years. I will think in, you know, you know, mountains, living in a mountain without without connecting anybody, released from depressions, losing ideas that I built when it was still a baby. So
Oh,
very
wow.
much 30 years.
Wow, Lydia. Well, don't be that desperate, guys. We're in the new year now. I don't want you to feel desperate just starting a new year. How about you, Z? Will you survive if you were Akira Endo?
So basically, when I read about the Akira Kindo,
Endo.
I really so mad at at that people around him. It's kind of like people taking advantage from him. So I just can't believe that this world is so cruel. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Then actually I feel pity of him. Then I don't know. I think I couldn't survive. Maybe I will blame God. How come I'm always surrounded with that bad people? Because it's so, how to say, even the person that he trusts, uh
Betrayed him.
that, yeah, like that.
Yeah.
It's so sad to be him.
Yeah. Actually, after reading that part, I felt like a lot of arrows in my heart. I actually cried a little bit because it's there was a cry even right now. Okay, stop it. All right, like it's the loneliness of uh, people could not see what was obvious to him, right? So it was obvious to him. Of course, the cure of this is this. The cure of cholesterol, high cholesterol, of course, is this. But people could not see that. So he was the one sounding crazy, but he was the one actually correct. So yeah, and then not being credited for this invention. Only 30 years after that, he got the award, yeah, as a biochemist award. So I'm really happy for him. Now, how about you, Rizka? Do you think will you survive being Akira Endo?
I think depends on whether I have a friend or not. I mean, doing it. I imagine that the research itself couldn't be doing it alone. Most probably she has a partner. If that partner, we have the same vision because we're doing it together, and we both still believe, even though there's this having this death, I think I will survive. But if I doing it alone, and because when we're alone, sometimes we doubt ourselves more because of it. So yeah, I think depends on whether on that situation I'm alone or feeling alone. If I'm not, I have partners, then I'll survive. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much, Rizka, for sharing. I agree, and I think Endo survived that time because of his wife. So he almost committed suicide, but his wife somehow still supported him. Right, so let's move on from Endo's story. I really love that story to be able to learn from. Okay, and then here, why is it so difficult? The twisted paths leading to great discoveries are the rule rather than the exception. That means great discoveries always go through twisted paths, not smoothly, right? The champions of great can show it to people that they were right, or time will eventually tell. You can consider yourself lucky if they could see it during your lifetime. Many other great champions of ideas were not so lucky. You can tell a leader by counting the number of arrows in his ass. All right, so why is it so difficult for general public to accept great ideas? Why is it so difficult for general public to accept great ideas? Any comment?
Maybe
Lydia? Oh, Zipra, sorry, Z?
maybe they're already comfortable with the current situation. That's why they don't want any feedback or any changes like that.
Yes, comfortable with the status quo, yeah, with the current situation. Thank
The
you, Z. How about
franchise,
Lydia? The, the
the
what?
terms, the terms is the franchise group doesn't want the
Franchise.
idea.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, while Ratu is speaking, Ratu, can you share why do you think the society is difficult to accept great ideas?
Yeah, I think I just rephrase what Zipora said because we already are comfortable with the current situation, like Canon, like Kodak, right? The big company that, yeah, they already found how to make a digital camera, but they didn't follow it up because they already big because of the roll camera, right? That's the franchise one. And turns out because of the digital camera from the other company, they went bankrupt. So, just refresh what Zipora said, that the franchise one didn't really want to have the new idea.
Yeah. So they're happy with their current situation. So this is really interesting because a lot of people said bersyukurlah with what you have, like be contented with what you have. But it doesn't mean that we cannot ask for more. Doesn't mean that we cannot fight for more. So although we are happy with what we have right now, we're comfortable with what we have right now, but it doesn't close the chance for things to get better, right? Okay, so Lydia, can you want to share why the general public is difficult to accept great ideas?
Mm, yeah, most of the general public, they feel if somebody cross their comfortable zone, they feel offended. Most of the time, I see seniors um, putting down or kill best ideas, even the idea that come up from the first junior comer can crush their comfortable zone, their comfortable seats, their position. Most of the time, I see my fellow colleagues, teams that you know get up from their office with their sad face. They try to survive. They try to convince themselves that maybe there'll be another time for them to come up with another idea. The seniors will be replaced by another person or by another um, authorities that, yeah, they can make it happen one day. They hope, they pray and hope. And most of the time when we having lunch together, after they talk about it and hope that someday the another fresh authority seniors may receive their idea.
Okay, thank you. I don't know about you guys, but it's Lydia's voice is breaking up on my side.
Yeah,
So
me
how
too.
about you, Z? Yeah. So, but I kind of get it. We have to keep fighting for the ideas to be accepted, right? All right, so let's go to Jerry now. Jerry wrote something on the chat box, but I will ask him to explain it himself.
Yeah, for me, I think it's why the public is hard to receive. It's because the brain don't get it.
Why they don't get it?
so so here is my question to all of us. Ideas is being accepted. Is it when people smile and clapping hands, or is it when the ideas is being challenged? Which one is the sign of acceptance?
I really would love my ideas to be challenged because it will
Right.
expand my perspective. And it certainly is better to be challenged than to be ignored at all.
Aye,
So
that's
sometimes people just smile because they cannot Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Next.
but believe it or not, people thinks when everyone is smile when you delivering your idea, it's mean acceptance, right?
Yeah. Well,
Eh,
I'm a debater, so my ideas are always challenged,
so yeah,
even by the judge.
I agree with
Yeah, yeah,
Pipit
yeah.
that
So it's
yeah,
good. It's good to get challenged. I agree with you
yeah,
because
yeah.
that means people engage your ideas, right?
Now the next question is, are people think their idea is being killed when they challenge,
Kind of.
kind
In
right?
my
So
opinion, if the challenge is never stop,
yeah,
then probably that's a sign they actually reject your ideas for real.
right, right.
But if it's
So
like a challenge, you were able to
for
explain it and they
yeah,
accept it, then that's great.
right. So actually, the sign of a sentence is when the idea is challenged, and it's also the chance for the one who have the idea to explain it. So I think the problem really why people don't accept it because their brain don't get it. So they challenge it because they
Yes.
so at the point we should not give up.
So a challenge is an opportunity to explain the idea, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Thank you.
that's it.
General public, it's difficult to accept great ideas.
Simply, we like things to be consistent. We like to do things in a regular way. We don't have to think. But when there's someone who's giving different perspective, especially when all the things that we do is already doing, I mean, like successful, already putting out something. So if there's a new idea, we become what do you call confused and feeling
Resistant.
insecure. Yeah, hesitate and you know because too much overthinking is part of something all of us have one way or another. So if there's something new and unfamiliar, we get scared. So I think that's why new ideas is challenged or being rejected. Anyway, yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Riska. So I agree that people are afraid of ideas, new things. It's like a virus coming into our body. Sometimes our what's it called? Immune system react in a super crazy way, right? Well, allergy, blah blah blah. It's just a minor thing. But other people get OTG, like tanpa gejala. Like fine, don't worry, I'm okay. But other people overreact. So yes, always new things, interesting for people. But I also personally, something that probably has not been mentioned, that people are overconfident with what they have. It's a bit different from comfort zone. Overconfidence means they even stop asking questions because they thought they know the answer already. That's why when people start asking questions like, no, we already know the truth, but what is the truth, right? It's evolving. So another point is probably overconfidence in our part. Okay, so P type and S type innovations. P type innovations and happens when the innovation focusing on the products. For example, Pan Am, who focused on better planes, better and bigger planes. Yeah, and then other competitors such as American Airlines focusing on the S-type innovation, which is on the strategies. They actually have better and easier booking system. And guess what? Which one people chose? People actually that time chose the S-type innovation. Nothing new in this innovation. They just want to amplify what is already there and make it better, right? And then what happened next is Pan Am collapsed and went bankrupt, and American Airlines still around until today. It's one of the most profitable airlines in the United States. So the question is, what P-type innovation and S-type innovation that change your life. So to give you a little bit of example of the response, is my response is I like the S-type innovation done by Indosat in 2003. So I remember that time Indosat was bought by Singapore, right? And before Indosat was bought by Singapore, Pulsa was very expensive, right? Phone credit was very expensive. I don't know how many of you were still around that time, right? Are we the same age? Probably Ratu and Z are much younger than me, but Lydia, Rizka, and Jerry probably same age. I don't know.
But
Just
Miss,
guessing.
at that time, because of IM3 is cheaper, I choose IM3 until now.
Exactly. I still use IM3 until now. No, well, the problem is like this. That time there was only Telkomsel, right? And then few others. But Pulsar was very expensive that time. At least 100,000 to buy it, right? Sometimes even 600,000 for 6 months. But suddenly Indosat came into play. The new owner suddenly, okay, you can buy Pulsar cheap, 5,000, 10,000, no big deal. They did not invent anything new. They just changed the strategy. And guess what? Now, all other providers suddenly follow the same thing. If not, they will be beaten out of the market, kicked out of the market. So I think that was the type of S type innovation that was successful during my lifetime. So can you guys give an example of any P type or S type innovation that really influenced your life? Ratu?
I think I want to bring up the issue of iPhone doesn't include charger on their newly released phone. And I think as the history tell us, most of the company I think will follow. And it's so bad for us as a customer because iPhone said that because there were so many charger already use the old one, but turns out the cable is not compatible with the old one. So
New
it's
one,
like
the old one.
you have to still buy the charger, the new charger, and then I know it's just for Apple for now, but let's see. I think for Xiaomi will be the next. I've heard the news. I've read the news that they, because it makes money for the investors, and it's so bad for customers. I think
Mas,
it's
for
just
an
like
Apple, sorry, Mas, for the Apple, you said that that's a different charger. Actually, it's still the same with the previous series.
yeah, for yeah, it's the same, but uh, it still use the S apa? How to say the C one, right?
No, same, still
No,
same,
still
still same.
same, yeah.
Oh, Zephora. Z is the marketing of Apple.
No, because it's fault. It's not correct. That's why I want to correct it.
Okay. But I
Because
watched
if
the
about
YouTube. Okay, I watched.
Ratu, did you do hoax just now? Did you
No.
spread hoax
I
just now?
watched the
No, Mas
YouTube.
Ratu,
There is a
because I
YouTube
have it.
that bring up this issue, and many people in the comment section were agreed about it because this YouTuber has so many chargers, Android,
Yeah.
No,
and he
it's
tried to
not,
put
Mas.
it and now you know what, Apple did something new, and it's not a fixable iPhone. You know what, the
Mas,
iPhone will not be
I
fixed by
Yeah.
third party. So that's
Yeah.
it.
Show him.
But Z, it's okay. Sometimes the cable is compatible, but the current is not compatible. Apa sih? What's the English word for that? Dayanya is not compatible. So it becomes really too slow to charge the new Apple. But anyway, I will leave that to you guys. I'm actually using FIFO, so I don't know what you're talking about. But related to Apple, actually, I have one more quote from Apple. So I have different reflection. Apple also was credited to launch P-type Loonshot that transformed industries. They have a closed ecosystem, right? It was a strategy that have been rejected by nearly all others in the industry. A closed ecosystem means they became exclusive, right? And it was really a huge step for them and risky gambling step, because now only iPhone can connect with iPhone, with MacBook, with iPad, so it's closed ecosystem. It's a huge gambling on their part, but it turned out to be a huge success because people chose exclusivity. For those who choose exclusivity, like Z. For me, I don't care. I choose
Agree.
inclusivity. You know, my students, when they use MacBook, and they have to project their work on the screen, they have to carry their adapter, their mini adapters, because they're adapter here, adapter there.
Oh yeah, I get your point, Miss. Yeah.
Yeah, so very impractical because it's a closed system. But anyway, well, obviously Apple makes a lot of money, so they did something right. Right, another respondents. What is the S type or P type innovation that influenced your life? Lydia, Z, Rizka, Jerry. What innovation directly influenced your life? Rizka?
I would say WhatsApp.
How?
Because I mean, previously I don't use BlackBerry, so I don't know the BBM. I'm using Android. So when WhatsApp arrived, it totally changed my life. I mean, I can chat with a lot of people. I'm using it like currently. I'm using it for work. I'm using it for families. And I remember uh, maybe about 2 or 3 years ago when WhatsApp is just being used in the company as well. And my boss said, "Well, we have to change from WhatsApp because this is very unsafe and everything else." But now, again, the funny thing is that now, when it comes to making new, it's being part of the work environment, and and it's even put it in our company policy where when making a new WhatsApp group, they have to use their real name and something. So there's have this kind of apa ya, tata cara lah in putting
House
and
rules?
discussing. Yes, the house rules. So I think it really is. WhatsApp definitely changed my life for better and for worse.
Oh, for better and worse, like getting married? You're married to WhatsApp?
I mean, yeah, literally. I mean, now I cannot not see my phone to check my WhatsApp.
Cannot separate, yeah. Extra body organ.
Absolutely. And so now I mean, some of the WhatsApp group as being off on notification and something like that. So for us to not being disturbed with the info. So yes, WhatsApp changed my life a lot.
Yes. Thank you, Rizka. I think also WhatsApp changed a lot of people's life, yeah, even among us here. And just to be a reminder, WhatsApp is not a P-type innovation. It was actually an S-type. So there was already a chatting service before WhatsApp. Maybe it was BBM, BlackBerry Messenger, or even Yahoo Messenger, all of this. But somehow WhatsApp solved the problems that the previous one had. That's why it has an S-type innovation. Facebook was not the first social media. One of the first social media was actually Friendster, yeah, MySpace, Friendster, but they died. But Facebook solved the problems of social media, so it's an S-type. All right, so Lydia and Jerry, which one wants to say first about the S-type, P-type innovations that influence your life?
Can I go first? Men first this time.
Yes.
Jerry goes first. Jerry goes first.
Oh, men first? What did you say? Okay, Lydia, you go first. That's the wrong thing to say to me. Go, Lydia.
No, based on the story that we got from Loonshot, the first player of the airline, Pan Am, lose the game, and then American Airline nowadays become the exclusive airline in the world. But then you ask which one, Lydia or Jerry? I say let me Jerry, so I can see his weakness and his blind spot, so I can feel it.
What happened just now?
No, let him be the first.
Oh,
Hey, Jerry.
okay, go, Jerry.
Go ahead.
Lydia give you a mercy.
Oh, yes.
I thought Kak Lydia is about to give the idea. Is ini. But for me, the one that really as innovation is internet and it's Google. It's
Yes.
really changed. It's really changes life, especially more specifically with Google Drive.
Oh, Google Drive. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
How did
because
it change your life?
I used to carry flash disks everywhere. So now you just post the file to Google Drive and access it. If you want to print, just make sure you can download it on your phone and then send it to printer.
Yeah.
So you don't, basically I don't need flash disks anywhere
Anymore.
Yeah.
You can carry on your ID card, your kartu
Right,
keluarga, your photograph or
Yeah. So
ID.
anything is all cloud. Yeah. Cloud safe.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Google Drive, yeah. So not Google in general, but Google Drive.
Google actually has a lot of feature that help us
Yeah.
in daily life.
Yeah. Okay. So Google as an engine, sorry, started as a search engine, right? It was also an S-type innovation, not a P-type, because Google was not the first search engine. The first search engine was actually called Veronica, right? Or VLIP, they call it, right?
The one Telkom still use now, Veronica?
No, not Telkom Veronica. No. All right. But the idea was great, but they had a lot of problems. And Google came up with the strategy. So they solved the problems of the first engine. Again, is this another S-type innovation? In my opinion, also the strongest. All right. So Lydia, are you finally ready?
Okay, about P-type and S-type innovations, what is happened to Pan Am? I've seen the movie long time ago when I was still in primary school. A movie about a story about a man who built airline from scratch and then beat up by gigantic monster American airline. But then, yes, I mean, don't be the first, but be the second. But at the end, you lead the team, the play. You know, when people, are you listening to my voice? Because I'm using
Yes.
wired.
Yeah.
It's better now.
It's better, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I first found the Pan Am in Loonshot, my memories back to when I was in primary school. I saw the movie. I read sources about Pan Am, who is the man behind the wheel, who built the airline. My heart got crushed when find out that this man came from nowhere, beat Pan Am, just because this man able to apa making payment roll better than Pan Am. It's pretty ugly game, because this man behind American airline has a history in American financial breakthrough. So I kind of stressed when I got, damn, why did you fail this game? Because I know exactly the movie and the story behind the
What was
Pan
the
Am.
title?
Pan Am. Pan Am.
Pan Am? Just that movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's still
Artu, can you help us Google it on IMDb and share it, please? Thank you. Yes, Lydia, you want to
Yeah.
continue?
No, that's all. I feel, I feel this monster business behind American airline beat this genuine man behind the Pan Am. So when I got into a work circle and I saw a person who very genuine, hardworking, um, family man, and then he got stung by this horrible a horrible boss. I got beyond sympathy, beyond empathy. But then I stand up, not in front of your boss. I literally knock his office and ask what happened because I'm inside this man team. So what happened? What happened to this project? Because why? Why did you crush him that bad? Because he prepared this uh, for 6 months, and then he told me that the reason behind. But then I got question. That's not enough. That's not enough. You the bad guy. He's the good guy. Why always the bad guy win the game?
Not
Yes,
always.
it's
Not always.
not
Don't
always.
worry.
Yes, I mean to that.
Yeah, but thank you,
Yeah.
Lydia, for sharing that. But I remember from the book, it said that airline industry is almost like a legalized warfare. If you remember that part. Yes, in the book. So the competition between airline industry is almost like a war, but legalized war. So it is that tough. But I actually a bit disagree with Lydia. I think Pan Am also did something wrong. That's why they collapsed. And it's related to the next slide. Yeah. So Pan Am was the one of the paragon of wrong management. Okay, so the death of Goliath. The death of Goliaths means big industries, big companies suddenly collapse. For example, Polaroid, Pan Am, IBM, BlackBerry, Kodak, Nokia, and etc. The familiar story of the decline of industry Goliaths begins with decades of success, after which the proud old company grows stale. It loses its hunger. Why do you think such thing can happen? So I will start with my opinion. I think what happened was, well, obviously the Moses trap, just like what Pan Am happens. So the leader insisted on let's build bigger planes, let's build faster plane, right? And then somehow they did not hear the news. They did not hear the complaints of the customers that they really have problem with choosing the best price. They cannot see the price on their screen if they want to choose. So this is a really difficult thing, difficult challenge for the customers. So the music has stopped, but they kept on dancing this Pan Am, right? To the old tune. New things come, but they did not adapt. So that is one of the reasons I think Goliaths died. So what do you think, guys? What makes these big industries suddenly died? Go.
Simply because they lose profit.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the impact. Before they lose
Oh, yeah.
profit, what happened?
But because yeah, the market changes, people's preference changes, like Kodak, like I said before, yeah, because of they didn't invent so much in digital camera, and digital camera came in, and they just lose the market and everything, just like the uh, Polaroid. They wants to make this polar vision so
Mm,
happening, but they
mm,
forget that this is cost cost of
too
fortune.
much.
Yeah, cost of fortune, so
Mm,
much, so much, and only tiny people can buy it. And in the same time, yeah, digital camera comes in, and they just, how to say, loses so many money, to say,
mm.
rugi, that's it,
Loss. Yeah.
lost thing.
But if you remember, Ratu, actually the idea of digital camera was first conceived in Polaroid
Oh
in
yeah,
1976.
Polaroid.
But the
Well,
leader ignored it. Like, no one is
Polaroid.
gonna buy it. What is this? Right? But
Yeah.
then 10 years after that, other companies started producing digital camera. And Polaroid started digital camera in 1996. 20 years after that. It was too late, of course, yeah? Yeah. So that is so I think maybe from Ratu's explanation, we can conclude that they did not adapt with changes. Right, Ratu?
Right.
All right. Did not adapt with changes. Supposed to be mobilis in mobili. Change with change. Changing with change. I think mobilis in mobili. Mobilis in mobili. Okay. All right, Z, I know that you want to say something.
My turn.
Yes.
So basically, I want to give an addition about Pan Am movies. So if I'm not mistaken, there is a movie called Catch Me If You Can that the Leonardo DiCaprio becomes a pilot in Pan Am. I think that's the reason why the finance things in Pan Am broke down, because there is no
Collapse.
collapse, because that the finance system is not really good, that the bank can easily
Con. Con.
fund do that. And then for the David and Goliath, what I want to say that maybe I'm too religious, but I believe God's hand. As you know that people who are already in the top, like Bakri, So I read that past years that the stock's price is really high for Bakri, but then it's collapsed really down,
Bad.
and yeah,
Really bad.
and it made
Z, be careful. This meeting is recorded before you go on.
oh yeah, I forgot. sorry.
You, Mas
Yeah,
Ratu
yeah.
will
Be
be
careful.
editor.
Now, the things that I want to say, for some companies and some people who's already think that they're already in the top, and they become like arrogant, and they don't want to berkembang, they don't want to develop, they don't want to fulfill their knowledge, fulfill their, how to say, innovation, do some innovations. Yeah, and maybe God's angry because of that arrogancy. So that makes them collapse. I think so.
Okay, thank you. Although Bakri is still one of the richest men in Indonesia, but yes, I agree.
For
The stock
sure.
plummeted. Yeah.
But the problem is, it made people who wants to invest doesn't want to, because they have the bad experience at that
Experience.
time.
Yeah,
Yes.
track record. They got track
Track
record.
record.
History track
Yeah.
record.
Especially during this internet era, a lot of things go viral. Suddenly, the stock market responded. Like United, remember when there was a viral video of a passenger got knocked down by the flight attendants or by the security, and
Yeah.
people boycott United. Suddenly, overnight, their stock just dropped. Just one incident, something like that. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Okay, Lydia.
Wow. Me?
Yes. Why do you think Goliaths died?
Goliath's die. It's pretty ancient story. Goliath, a strong
Yeah,
man.
big
Single.
industries. Yeah. Why do
Yes.
you think big industries, after a long haul of success, suddenly died?
Um, they refuse to split their responsibilities. You have project manager. You have maintain certain areas, certain things, certain issues, certain fairs. So you have to, the leader must learn to divide responsibilities, uh, internal affair, public affair, certain issues that might change the company, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay, so distribution of power,
Yeah,
distribution of authority, yeah.
distribution.
Yeah, it reminds me one of the point in this book about, if you remember, the comparison between Tycho and Shin Kuo or something.
Wider
Shin.
management span.
Yeah, yeah. I will share it. Where is my? Here. All right. Tycho and Shin Kuo, right? They were both disappointed by authorities. However, Tycho had an alternative, while Shen did not. In a centralized government, dead ideas stayed dead. No alternatives. Had the Song Emperor appointed and listened to a Chinese banner Bush, the scientific and industrial revolution might well have taken place 5 centuries earlier, and we would be all speaking Chinese. So meaning that in Europe, there was no centralized power. There was Kingdom of Denmark, Kingdom of Czech Republic, oh not Republic, Kingdom of France, all of this kingdom. So when Tycho was banished from Denmark, he could go to other kingdom to be protected. So this kingdom adopted him and developed his idea. So he had an alternative. So this is distribution of power within an area, certain vast area. While in China at that time, only one emperor. So when Shen Kuo was banished, his idea somehow got rejected. He had nowhere to go. So no one developed his idea. So all of this gunpowder and steam engine could have been invented in China instead of in, yeah. But now it's discovered, China is catching up right now, but could have been a long time ago.
They learn.
Yeah. So they slowly catch up. All right, so let's go to Jerry. Jerry,
Yes,
what do you think? What makes the big industries suddenly collapse?
This is really interesting questions because this statement also stated in the book Innovations for the Fatigue. I don't know why it's really coincidence ya kaya. The same discussion, the book I read also the same. So if I read the quote here in page 115, it says, if we look to the history of great business failures, be it Kodak, Blockbuster, or Toys R Us, these often follow the presently common pattern. It's never that the company lack acumen or people with ideas or the resources to try out new things. Neither does business failure in the face of new technologies or new customer behaviors stem from change being so quick that it is impossible to react to it. No, in almost all cases, the writing was on the wall for some times, but too few in the company care enough to read it. They simply weren't all that interested. So how do you make sure that your organizations remain curious? So in this book, it's clearly said that, for example, we are talking about PNM Airlines, the biggest, the Goliath. We know that they are doing the things. They are keep innovating, right? But what kind of innovation they do? They wasting their money doing innovations without success. So it's not that they are silenced there. It's just that I think what they do is not quote unquote the right things, right? So yeah, and apart from that is that they don't care. They don't care. Nobody cares about the change. So I think that's also the reasons why they fail.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Remember, Jerry, when you posted about for the fatigue, I responded it on IG, right?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. I think let me double check later. But this is about curiosity.
Yes,
curiosity.
because I said, oh, I read the same book, almost the same. I was talking about Loonshots, so I knew Jerry was reading about that. What was it?
Innovation.
Innovation for the fatigue.
Yeah, fatigue. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm interested to read about that one, but My
Yeah, go
queue
ahead,
for
Pipit.
book is still a long time. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you for sharing. And
Yes.
then another thing, yes, in Loonshot, it's called blind side. Watch out for the blind side. So the music has changed, but they keep dancing on the same tune. Yeah. So this is what made a lot of Goliaths die. Priska, what do you think? What makes a lot of big companies collapse?
I think first of all, in my opinion, every
Priska?
company, especially sorry, uh, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
No. Oh, okay, good. Okay, so in my opinion, every big company usually have a section that deals with development, but since out of I mean out of necessity, but this development unit usually is very small, and they don't hear what they get to say, and basically focus on improving efficiency of the operation. But when it comes to sudden changes of the environment, the customer, government, or something like what we're having right now, COVID-19, it's unpredictable. And so the system of the company is getting shocked, and then collapse because they just couldn't adapt to a sudden changes. So yeah, I think because they're too big, like one book that I would like to read is Too Big to Fail. I think it's about the crash of the Wall Street yeah. I think that's why a big company suddenly collapsed, because they just couldn't adapt with sudden changes from the environment or the customer and everything.
Okay. Okay. I don't know, is it just me, but Priska's voice is very low. Can
Oh,
anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your
Were you
voice is kind.
whispering? Priska. Okay. Well, it's okay. Don't worry, Priska. We still have two more questions after this. Ah, that's why she's reconnecting again. So maybe speak louder in the next discussion. Yeah, we have two more questions. All right. So let's see here. Now it's about the Moses trap. Right. When ideas advance only at the pleasure of a holy leader, rather than the balanced exchange of ideas and feedback between soldiers in the field and creatives at the bench selecting shots on merit. I don't know, it's a long quote, but meaning when one person in a company becomes too powerful, the person gets to decide whatever works, whatever don't. This is called the Moses trap, and this is the most effective way to kill great ideas. Now, if you were a leader, what would you do to avoid being trapped here in the Moses trap? If you were a leader, what would you do to avoid being trapped here? Go ahead. Z?
So basically, I'm the person that I cannot stand alone. So basically, I always said, "What do you think? What do you think?" That's so. I think I'm not that. That I'm not that trap. I'm not get that trap. I think because
Okay.
I always because I'm Libra, so I just want to
Holy.
everything in the same position. Justice is the most important thing. So that's why some people
Okay.
said I'm selfless. I'm much better to say, yeah, I don't want to fight. So yeah, just yes, yes, and yes.
Wow. I don't know. I'm much more concerned that you decide your behavior based on your horoscope. You know, it's not a must. My horoscope is Pisces. I cannot even swim.
What? Excuse me, what's your horoscope?
He says
Pisces,
Pisces.
Oh,
Pisces,
Pisces. Oh,
Pisces.
Pisces is really great together with Libra because my best friend is also Pisces.
Okay, but you know what? Pisces, I'm Pisces, and Aquarius right in the middle. I cannot swim.
It's okay.
Water and fish
But there is no, how to say, no coherence
connection.
between
No connection.
swimming and
Yeah,
horoscope.
but sometimes it's hard to believe that our behavior is somehow decided by how the planets aligned at the time of our birth. But it's okay. I mean, I love horoscopes too in the past. So
Okay.
I get it. I love being the Libra logo, right? Because
Yes.
you try to be balanced.
Yeah,
So you will never be trapped in the Moses trap, yeah?
I think so. I much prefer to ask everyone what they did think like
What do
that.
you do when you need to decide something now? Do
I
you
choose
actually
the
decide?
highest how to say musyawarah untuk mufakat.
Wow, Pancasila banget. So you're democratic leader?
Yes, I think so.
All right, thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome.
Good. So Zifora is very sure she will not be trapped in the Moses trap. All right, Lydia.
No, not me. Okay, Moses trap most effectively killed. Know how to avoid. So know how to avoid. At least you must have two person that very close to you that share same visions, same energy, same frequency. That a place that you can easily to talk. So when you narrow a certain decisions and then you got worry about um, the the process about everything about anything because most of your employee or your other teamwork say that this is very very delicate to solve or very delicate to run in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But then you need to have at least two person that you can easily to talk and access. A person that share you the not exactly but slightly experience, background educations, history that you can ask about your decisions. What if I went through this plan A? What happened if I go through this plan B? Yeah, that's it.
So you need somebody you can trust with their opinions, yeah?
Yeah.
And make sure these people actually tell you the truth.
Yes, because these
So
two
not just
people.
yes man, yes ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need these certain people around you. You keep saying, okay, yes, absolutely. No, you need storm at the first approach. But that you got sunrise at the end.
Sunrise?
No, not sunrise. What?
Surprise?
Surprise.
Surprise.
Sweet surprise. Not.
Okay. Yeah. All right, good. So it's good to have somebody honest and be our confidants. Yeah. All right. And then Ratu. After Ratu, I will ask Agus to speak because he just arrived. So Ratu, what do you do to avoid being trapped in the Moses trap?
Yeah, I think what she said, how to say in English, is consensus, right? We have to make the consensus. In my college, for 3 years, I've been a chief of the how to say ketua class that deal with the schedule, the docent, the lecturer, and also the things that we do in in togetherness with our class. And since it's a very rich cultured people from west to north, different background, different temper, I always open the discussion like everyone needs to speak the truth, yeah, throw it all out, and then we'll come up with the decision that benefit for all of us. And then after this, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear any more complaint or disagree of our consensus. So that's one of my. I was just like the connector between the set A and the site B, and then make the things that works both for both of us.
Yes, thank you. So I read the book Blueprint. They call it the super connector. And usually super connector are the quality of successful people. So keep it up. If you can connect people from many different backgrounds, many different communities, and get them together on a table, talking about something, come up with a resolution, and then follow through. No complaint after this. Although probably you can still need to be open to complaints, right? You don't want to die like the Goliaths because they close their ears to complain. Okay, so hello, Mr. Agusri.
Hello.
Hi, so what's your opinion? What do you do if you are a leader and you want to make sure you lead your organization well?
First, I just want to hear from my members uh, how about their ideas for solving problems. That's all.
Or how to solve problems? Okay, we'll get to that after that, after Jerry and Diska. Okay, Jerry, what do you do
Yeah,
to avoid
I
being
just
trapped
happen
in the
to.
Moses trap?
It's really coincidence with what Pak Agus said just now. I was also thinking about that. As a leader, we must have the problem-solving mentality because that will make us more objective. More objective means we don't hear ideas from the one we favor most, but rather we look at the problem and then we find solutions to the problems. If that means the best solutions will win.
Hmm.
So to avoid this Moses trap, a leader must always look into the problems and becoming a problem-solving manager. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Pak Agus, did that answer your question? I don't know. Do I call him Pak? I don't know. Ratu, do you know?
Hello. Hello. I'm so sorry. Okay.
So, okay, we'll
Good.
get back to you the next question, yeah?
Okay.
Now
Okay.
we'll
Is that okay?
introduce ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you
we
want
have
to be
not.
called?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we'll
I'm so
get to
sorry.
that because we will do some introduction before we end the meeting. We do the opposite usually at the beginning, but you know, blah. All right, Rizka, what do you do if you want to avoid the Moses trap?
I press the my son wanna do
Oh,
prayer.
okay, no problem, no problem. Yes, and then Moses trap. All right, so I agree that we should listen to the members if you lead an organization. You also have to be the super connector, just like what Ratu said. You can be the bridge of a lot of people. And after that, just like what Jerry said, you also need to be a problem solver, focusing on solving the problem, not reacting to the problem. And then, I don't know, Lydia, you said something about also listening to members. Yeah. Oh, confidence. You find people, the trusted people to tell you the truth if something is working or not. All right, so this is the summary of this question. Next one. This is our last question. After that, we'll go to summary. Sometimes incentives can create unexpected results, right? When the Dead Sea Scrolls were first discovered by the Bedouin shepherds in the desert cave near the Dead Sea in modern-day Israel, archaeologists offered to pay the shepherds for each scrap they found That encouraged the shepherd to rip any scrolls they found into tiny scraps, so they will get more money. The archaeologists had the right idea in theory, but didn't think through the perverse incentive in practice. We must examine the unintended effects of well-intended goals. Now, question for you. What kind of incentive do you think works well? For example, what type of incentive that makes you work well in your company or in your institution?
Me, I want to
Yes,
ask.
we.
So if we come earlier, we can go home earlier too. So I think it's the best incentive. So basically, I'm a morning person. So I love to come at. I always arrive 6 a.m. I always arrive 6 a.m. in the office, and I can go home 4:30.
So
So
your incentive is time leaving early?
yes, because I believe that we cannot buy time. So yeah, I think if we can have much time in home, why not? At
Yes,
home, I
but
mean.
you also left early, so you kind of pay it forward.
Excuse me.
So, but you left home early too, so you kind of.
Oh, so actually, I calculate the time, yes. So if I
Oh,
go home early, if I go to the office earlier, the traffic is low, so I can.
good
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, like
You
that.
live in Jakarta, yeah?
Yeah.
That's why. Good, good, good.
I don't
So
want to
rather
spend too
than
much time in the road
traffic,
like
yeah,
that. Mm-mm.
that's amazing. Actually, that is. I read the book, The 5 a.m. Club. So that's my resolution this year. I want to arrive early at the office too. Want to
But
start.
I wish that there will be WFH every day so I can run in the morning first. And
Yeah.
do you get it? So I much
Yes, yes,
prefer if we can just work in the home like that.
yeah. So that's a good incentive for you. Yeah, you will work harder if you get more time for yourself. Okay, thank you. How about Ratu? What incentive do you think works well?
Yeah, I wanna discuss about how the my institution give me soft equity, not money, but chances to meet with other creative people at the luxurious places or such as Bali, Lombok, just because I make creative things for them, and then that the creative things will be distributed nationally. So after that,
Ooh.
I can see that in my institution, the things that my friends, the creative team, brings new and fresh things to our organization nationally, and changes the face of our media social, the changes of our branding, as you can see. Not like other institution, government institution. You can see that in our Instagram, in YouTube, or in our slides. All of that not done by the people on the headquarter, but all of the people around the small offices across Indonesia that has this ability, but they make it, they put it them together in one group, and they give them
Mm.
workshop to make something, but the workshop was in a good place,
Mm.
3 4 days away from office. For me, I was like, if not because of COVID, I will be like 2 3 times a year going anywhere because of that workshop. And that self
Mm.
equity gives me boost to make something contribution.
Great. So it's an opportunity to develop yourself and plus travel too, yeah? Yes. Okay. So that's the effective incentive for Ratu. Now, how about Lydia? What is the good incentive for you? Unmute, unmute.
Unmute yourself.
Yes, forgot, sorry. Yeah, so yes, the incentive, what type of incentive that works well? Um, I got attentions, uh, my voice be heard, and my visions is crystal clear by the superior. That is my most valuable incentive ever given. But also for other people who works under um, company that just 4 or 5 people that they heard because they're very close, because they go holiday together, they share community together, they share hobbies together by weekend. But then I just want to have their attentions. So when the superior come up with idea, so you must create this kind of project and present in front of the other head of manager, I at least want their attentions, because I can make this project runs very well, and the team that I work with. So beside the annual vacations abroad, so yes, that is my best incentives works well.
Respect,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah, respect from your superior.
Respect, recognition,
Recognitions,
attention,
yes, yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and vacation abroad. All right. So how about you, Jerry? What do you think an incentive that works well?
I also agree with Kak Lydia. It's about acknowledgement, yeah. It's called acknowledgement,
Yes.
Yes.
because yeah, that's the incentive that most people, apart from money, most people want it to be respected. Acknowledgement means not only in front of the boss, the boss acknowledge, but when boss is acknowledge us in front of many people, it's really a prestige for everyone. So they want to be respected. Also, I think the second one from me is trust. Yeah, I think the incentive number 2, according to me, is trust. I mean, what it means is we are given more responsibility to handle important project. I think that's another incentive. But for this incentive, not everyone accept it well. Only maybe some people with the willing to improve. Because sometimes when we're giving more job to people, they will say, "Oh, come on, what's my payment?" So udah jadi.
No, no, that is not how the work. That is not how
Yeah.
world works. You work based on your salaries. Definitely not that way for.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
they call
so
it.
trust. Yeah.
Yes,
I
yeah,
think.
trust, chance.
Yeah.
And I remember there was one quote from Loonshots. Recognition from peers is a form of intangible or soft equity. It cannot be measured through stock price or cash flows. It can be just as strong a motivator, or even stronger,
Strong.
over as both a carrot and a stick. So recognition is actually stronger than reward and punishment. Yeah. Every organization can find opportunities to increase autonomy, visibility, and soft equity. So this is the secrets for organization to be successful. They need to increase autonomy of the people working there. That means they are somehow trusted to do something, right? Not
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
constantly supervised at the
Yeah.
minuscule level.
Ooh, I hate that.
Visibility, yeah. Visibility means transparent, right?
Yeah.
No collusion, no backhand shake, blah, blah, blah. And also soft equity. So whenever somebody have achievement, then it has to be celebrated. It doesn't need to be like a competition. Yeah, their celebration, their achievement is also our achievement as a company, for example. So this is soft equity. Now, how about you, Agus? What do you think is an incentive that works?
Incentive, yeah. Oh, I'm
Yes.
so jealous. So in my workplace, at my stage, I think it's sort of soldier stage, I think. So it more rigid, no debate or negotiation, no bargain, I think. So I just look incentive as more overtimes or more money, I think. Just that. No other
Are you
thing.
a soldier? Are you an
So yes,
NE or what is it?
I no. I think I just called it soldier stage is coolie. Yes, coolie. I think we don't have time to debate or negotiate. No. Just accept the instruction and go. That's all.
Yes.
Do what you told, yeah.
So I think at my stage there are no debate or no negotiation. Just accept the instruction and go. That's all.
And do it
No
well.
trip. Yes,
You
I think I
accept
do
the
it well.
instruction and do it well, right?
You were
Yes, I'm do
assigned
it
for that
well.
duty, dude. You were
I'm so
assigned.
jealous. At the abroad, yo, yes, I think that
You,
more
yeah, you
overtimes. Oh, you have a good job, and I give you overtime.
What
Oh,
do you mean by
overtime?
overtime?
Oh,
Overtime is usually
Leisure,
oh,
leisure
lembur,
time?
uang lembur,
Saturday.
yeah,
uang
Yeah,
lembur,
yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, that's the
overtime
bargain.
fee.
Yes, overtime.
So that means financial incentive then.
Yes, I
Okay.
think that. I'm so
Well, if
jealous about
it's
that trip.
no, it's fine because you still get a chance to have overtime income, yeah?
Yes,
All right.
yes.
But
Just the different value of incentive. I think yes.
yeah,
I
actually in
take that.
Loonshots, they talk about military also a lot. When the love your artists and soldiers equally, right? So that time, the one that can help turn the wave of World War II was actually radar technology, right? It's not weapon. Well, of course, atomic bombs, yes. But before that, it was radar. And then the creation of radar was actually opposed by the military because they were not interested in invention not related to weapons, right? The military focus on the innovations on weapons, weapons, and weapons. If it's not weapons, we're not interested. As it turned out, the technology that can help them win the war was actually a radar. They can spot the enemy and then scare them away or maybe demolish them. So yes, it needs to be even in military organization. Loonshot is still what is it called? It's still needed. Yeah,
Necessary.
necessary. Yes, necessary. Okay. Thank you, Agus. Now let's move on to our last one. This is not a question, but more like a summary. So the ideal situations for loonshots is if a miracle had been accomplished anywhere along the line, it was in the field of organization. So organization is really important, where condition had been created under which success was more likely to be achieved in time. A good organization encourages focusing more on project outcomes and less on politics. Equity fraction ties your pay directly to the quality of your work. The greater your equity fraction, the more likely you are to choose project work over politics. That means here, if you are qualified for your job, if you have the skill to actually do your job, you don't need to play politics. It's almost unnecessary to play politics because you know how to do your job. In the opposite direction, if you don't know how to do your job, you need something else to survive. That is the politics, the working environment, right? And then the greater your skill on the projects to which you have been assigned, which we can call project skill fit, the more likely you are to choose project work. The lower your project skill fit, the more likely you are to choose politics. So it is the same thing, basically. So the ideal situation is a good organization and also um, we choose people fit with their job. Yeah. And then a critical role of the Loonshots nursery is keeping fragile loonshots alive through failures and rejections. Because so many loan shots stay dead for a long time. That's why we need a really good organization. And a question for you to ponder maybe after this meeting is, so what is your fragile loan shot? We all have big dreams, right? So I'm sure everyone have big dreams. However, we have question for Ratu for everyone to introduce themselves. This is the format. So let me start. Hello, my name is Pipit Andriani, my full name, and I live in Gresik, but I work in Surabaya. The genre of books that I really like, actually my background is literature, but recently because of book clubs I've been joining, I started to read a lot of nonfiction. And my favorite are history among them. How many books a month in average you can read? I usually read 20 pages a day, but I also keep reflection. So 20 pages a day is actually quite slow, but I do this kind of reflection. This is the one that takes a long time. And I also do this thing. Expression and vocab. Can you see it?
Yes, can.
No, yeah?
Can.
No, right? Okay, this is what I do. Other than reflection, I also take note of good expression from things that I read. A moment of truth in your lives, for example, like this. I don't know why. So that makes my reading quite slow, but I'm pretty happy with what I have right now. All right, so that is it from me. Let's go to Z.
Hi, my name is Zipora. Currently, I live in Jakarta, and the genre book that I love to read is a motivational book or lifestyle books. Then I think I could read 2 books in a month, averagely. Thank you.
Thank you, Z. And then Lydia. Or Ratu. Ratu, introduce yourself. Oh, he changed his headset. So Ratu did not hear Zipora's introduction, but he already knows Zipora, so no need. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Ratu. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Rahmatullah Barkat M, but people call me Ratu, as you know. I'm actually came from Makassar, South Celebes, but my city of domicile right now is in Sidoarjo because I work in Surabaya. And also my my book preference is nonfiction, but I don't mind to read fiction. I also love to read parenting books, anything that is practical, so I could like implement it right away with my life. Also, a book a month. This past year is not so great for reading for me, but I can say that one book in a month it's the most least I can do. But sometimes I could do 2 books, 3 books, 2 books in average. Thank you very much. Nice to see you all.
Nice to see you too, Ratu. Now let's go to Dan.
Hi. Okay, my name is Lydia, as you can see. Me from Sumatra, and Mas Ratu, my father came from North Sulawesi, yeah. I'm Manado, half Manado.
So that's why you are
So
white skin.
my
Fair,
white skin,
fair skin, not white.
fair.
Don't say white,
Fair. Oh yeah.
fair skin. Yeah.
That's the
I'm
right
dead. I'm
vocab.
not dead yet. I'm from Sumatra. Anybody from Sumatra? Where you
I
from,
used to live in
Riau?
Medan. I used to live in Medan.
Hi, hello Medan.
Horas,
Horas. Anak Medan.
berjual-jual.
Anak Medan. Yeah. So I used to live in Dumai, the part of city, the city of Riau province that pretty close to Singapore and Malaysia. But then I moved to a city that pretty close to Melaka. Yeah.
Ooh.
So it's pretty cheaper also to go to Melaka rather than go to Jakarta by boat. I mean, 350.
Yeah.
So when you go and back forward, it only takes 700.
Mhm.
It's pretty cheap. So my book preference is anything. Yeah, I like mystery. I like horror. I like romance and also non-fictions. But recently I read this new expeditions because I can't go anywhere. So I read book that allows me to travel, travel in mentally, not in physically. So I read this a book from Chris Fagan, a mother of one boy, of one son, who travels to Antarctica with her husband. So it's pretty nice reading because you can see her struggling with families, friends, colleagues, and her fellow and dearly husband. So that's it.
Fiction, yeah, but fiction, yeah.
No, not this is
Based
memoir.
on true.
Oh,
Memoir.
memoir. Oh, wow, I love memoir. Actually, I'm
Yeah.
now reading memoir too. This is Ratu's Kindle right here.
Wow,
I'm
you
borrowing
share
from
Kindle.
Ratu because he's the
I have
queen
three
of
Kindles, you know.
Kindle. And I'm reading In My Time, memoir by Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney, the vice president of.
Memoir tuh memori, autobiography, like
Yes,
autobiography.
yes.
It's
Autobiography.
a little bit different. Memoir can be just a specific period of time when you want to write it. For example, Barack Obama memoir, right? What was the name? The
Promised Land.
Promised Land.
Promised Land.
Yeah,
From
Promised
his
Land.
latest book.
Only talking about his time in the White House, for example.
Oh.
But autobiography can be from
the birth
the
to death.
beginning. Yes, even from the parents of their grandparents
I see.
until death. So that's autobiography.
Thank you, Miss Pipit.
No problem. But sometimes people, include. But memoir is more like very specific. During my time in the White House, blah blah. All right. So that is it. And then Jerry, how about you? Jerry?
Yes.
Explain.
I'm doing makeup just now.
Serious?
You
put powder in your face?
No change.
my
No
God.
change at all.
Jerry, I'm 30 years. Look at my face.
So I'm thanks for this chance to introduce myself. Thanks to Kak Pipit who actually just remind me every time to join the book club. This is a new book club, right? Voicepal?
Yes.
Okay. I love the structure. It's more with structure. I mean, easy to follow. So I will try my best to present every meeting.
Yeah. So Ratu is the founder of Voicepal.
Okay.
And
That's right.
it was supposed to be in Telegram, but I don't know. I quit Telegram, so I I'm so bad at it. But what's your favorite book genre, Jerry?
Okay, so let me start with the format. My name is Jerry Heprianto. Hi everyone, nice meeting you. Yeah, I'm surprised to see to know Mas Ratu is from Sulawesi because I'm from Sulawesi as well.
Which
so
part?
I went to tourism school in Akbar Makassar 3 years. 3 years in, I think I graduated in 2017. From syllabus as well. Now West syllabus, West Sulawesi.
Okay.
Now I'm currently living in Bali with my wife and my 4-year-old daughter.
West Sulawesi, where is that exactly?
It's in Toraja ya, Toraja. My tribe is
Oh,
Toraja.
Toraja. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
amazing.
My tribe is Toraja. My
Me
wife is
too. Me
Batak,
too.
Bataknes.
I'm
Are you from?
Toraja.
Toraja
Yeah.
as
Are
well.
you Toraja as well? Oh, wow.
I'm
So
Your mom
many
is Batak,
Sulawesi
Jerry?
here,
Sipora
yeah.
also, Sipora also Toraja.
Yes.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
wait. I'm really interested in Toraja. My school used to go to
Aku
Toraja.
kure semangat, kure
Oh,
semangat.
Sipora, do you live? Oh, okay, okay. Nice, nice meeting. By the way, you can follow. I can follow your Instagram. You can follow mine. I have Instagram's isibuku underscore isibuku. I
A good
really
one.
appreciate Kak Pipit is also keep introducing that.
Yeah.
Although I myself never introduced that. So
Yeah, guys. Follow Jerry on Isi Buku. But
yeah,
his content is in Bahasa, yeah. But the English
yeah,
books, but
content.
in translated to Bahasa.
Yeah. Isibuku. So basically, that is to share book contents.
Yeah. And
Mostly,
if I'm not mistaken, on Thursday this week, you will do book review at Polonia Toastmasters Club.
Oh yeah, I just chat. I just chat. Pak, I don't know. I forgot the name. I just chat to make sure when.
Pak Rudi.
Yeah, I just chat him to make sure when.
7:30 p.m.
So
Jerry will review this book called The Richest Man in Babylon.
Yeah.
On Thursday.
Richest
So if
Man in Babylon.
anyone interested, I will send WhatsApp later.
Okay. So thank you, Gavin. So move on to my favorite genre. I just recently found I love so this one is long before I know that I love motivation book. I love business books, mostly non-fiction, right? And spiritual books. Spiritual books. I just did a capture on my Isibuku or Instagram that I was really interested in C.S. Lewis books because of the first one is because of how he choose the words in explaining the it's really the words playing.
I will get
He
the book.
explained yeah. He's really good at
I'm
choosing
writing down. I'm writing down the title.
Yeah. He's really good at explaining the tough topic. So I'm really interested in that. Also to understand because he is specifically mentions about God versus science, and also some of the Christian apologetics writers like John Lennox. I love reading those as well. So I haven't read a lot, but I will definitely go for that. So I read at the moment. I really prefer non-fiction.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you,
I think that's it.
Jerry.
Yeah, Kak.
How many books
So
a
this is the
month?
book, yeah?
The book. I'm a slow reader like Kak Pipit as well.
Yeah,
That's
but
why
this is the book, right?
Oh yeah. That's it. That's it, Kak. Oh my God, Kak
C.S.
Pipit, you
Lewis?
read that?
I read this 7 years before you.
Oh my God. I'm really curious to know what's your opinion about that.
Yeah.
Mas Rahmat say asking how many books a month. I think I'm a slow reader like Kak Pipit, so maximum one, yeah. Maybe 1 to 2 lah, yeah. So one of the reason why I'm really not really keep along with the book club sometimes because I cannot follow the pace. You read this book this month and then you go for the next book this month, and then it's really like, oh my God, I can't keep running. So I'm just reading book. I'm just reading what books that I'm interested at the moment. So I focus on that.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah.
Now let's go to Agus. Agus, you please follow the format.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Yes, introduce myself. My name Agus Rolianto and currently living in Karawang, West Java. My genre favorite, I don't know. I read anything from fiction, non-fiction, but recently I read about Atomic Habit. Yes, I stumbled on it.
Good book.
Atomic Habit. It teaches me a lot. To look not into a big thing, but take you to a little thing. That's a very awesome. About month, how much I take a book a month. about 1 or 2 books, I think.
Same, yeah.
If Mas Jerry said that he a slow reader, then I am a random reader. If I got 1 book, is I think I will. Yes, slow. I'm slow. I'm slow at reading.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. It's okay to be slow reader because it gives us time to internalize it. Ratu said that he wanted to do speed reading, but I actually disagree.
It
All
doesn't mean
right.
fast.
Yeah, don't have to be fast. We need time to internalize. We need to interact with the content. All right, Rizka, please follow the format. Please introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. So wait, let me check the format.
Yes,
So my
in
name
the
is
chat
Rizka
box.
Yes, Rizka Wulandari, and well, on weekdays I'm in Karawaci, Banten, but on weekend I'll be in Bandung. My book genre currently, I think, mix between memoir, biography, and then like a nonfiction, like yeah, anything that comes interesting to me, and also related with art. That's my book. How many books in a month? So
She reads a lot of books.
yeah, and it's not something to be brag about because I'm all about just reading to the fun of reading itself. I don't really like going into deep. I just feel like I read a book like I'm understanding a person.
Mm.
So like to me, when I read a lot of book means I read a lot of people within the book. So
Wow.
last year I did 70 pieces.
70 books, guys.
Oh my
Well, Rizka,
God.
you listen to
Just say
audiobook, yeah?
wow.
Yes, I also
Rizka listen to a lot of audiobooks too, yeah?
yes, yes. But
Salute, salute, salute.
Salute, that's crazy, guys.
some of the book is
That's insane, not crazy.
yes.
That's
So
Loonshots.
is Becoming by Michelle Obama. That's thick. But most of them are not very thick, very thin, and some of them like Indonesian book, very very small. So my target really about quantity. So that's what I do. And this year I want to improve the quantity. Let's see if I can increase into 100 or more. We'll see.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
We'll see.
But Rizka, don't forget to write the reflection. I remember you said you wanted to learn how to write, yeah?
Like yeah, that's one thing that this year will do. So the some of the things that I read last year I will put the reflection this year. Yes, that's
Okay.
me.
Yes, we agree, guys. We need to upgrade our mental processor so we can be like Rizka. Okay. Me, like maximum 24, maybe 24 books in a year. But okay. So we're actually over time right now. Can everyone turn on your camera? We'll want to take a group photo. Show any book. If you can just grab a book nearby or your Kindle.
Wait.
Well, Mike is coming in. Like, he's crazy. Mike, we're ending. Well, he
Please,
can
I
just
want to
take
talk
photo with
about
us.
something, yeah.
Hi, Mike. We're taking photo, about to sign off. Can you pose as well?
I will count to three.
Yeah,
Yeah. One. Z, are you ready?
Rizka is
Okay.
on.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Nice cut.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's